friends, I've got an Irish song for you. It goes like this. May troubles be less and blessings be more, and nothing but happiness come through your door. And may you have luck wherever you go, and blessings the number of shamrocks that grow. May winds be at your back and sun be overhead. May friends be at your side wherever you are led. Hey, and I also have a St. Patrick's Day story for you. This is St. Patrick's Day by Joyce K. Kessel, and it tells the story of St. Patrick. The pictures are by Kathy Gilchrist. St. Patrick's Day is March 17th. It is celebrated all over the world, wherever there are people of Irish background. Some celebrate by wearing green, and some celebrate by going to church. Still others celebrate with parties. Some cities even hold parades. People have been celebrating St. Patrick's Day for nearly 600 years now. It all began, of course, with St. Patrick himself. Patrick is Ireland's patron saint. He changed the history of Ireland, and he's well loved by the Irish people. But Patrick was not born in Ireland. He was born in England between the years 372 and 390. His parents didn't even name him Patrick. We think they named him Maewyn. Patrick's parents were Romans. At that time, the Romans ruled England. Roman cities in England had shops, churches, and beautiful houses. People read books. They dressed in fine clothes. Calphurnius, Patrick's father, was a high Roman official. So Patrick lived a rich and comfortable life. But just across the Irish Sea in Ireland, life was not so comfortable. People lived in mud huts. They dressed in animal skins. They could not read. Ireland was called Eire in those days. The Romans did not rule Eire. It was ruled by tribal kings who would not let the Romans in. The Irish did not like the Romans. They did not like the Roman religion either. The Irish believed in other gods. They did not want to become Christians like the Romans. When Patrick was a boy, the most powerful king in Ireland was named Niall. In the year 400, King Niall attacked England. He took thousands of prisoners. He wanted them for slaves. Patrick was one of them. Patrick was taken to Northern Ireland. There he was sold to another king named Meliuk. The rich little Roman boy was forced to herd pigs and sheep. After a rich, fine life, Patrick became a swineherd. Meliuk and his family were not unkind to Patrick. Meliuk's children were good company. There was plenty of food. Still, Patrick was only 15 years old. He was all alone in a strange land. He didn't know the language. He didn't even know if his family was still alive. There were no beautiful houses, no shops, no books. Patrick slept in a mud hut. He was only a little slave boy far from home. At first, Patrick was frightened. Then he became filled with a great sadness. He began to think and dream all the time. He began to sleep outdoors. Only rocks protected him from the winter wind. Like the sheep, he didn't seem to feel it. Like the pigs, he roamed the valleys. He prayed day and night, and his prayers seemed to protect him from the cold. The little slave boy became one of the greatest religious dreamers of all time. Soon, he began to have wonderful dreams. The dreams told him to escape. One day, Meliuk's children could not find him. The animals were astray. The slave boy was gone. Patrick was then about 21 years old. After 6 years as a slave, he had run away. He walked many miles to the sea. There he found a ship. It took him back to England. But he was not ready for what he found there. His country was in ruins. The Romans had been chased out. They were no longer the rulers. It is said that Patrick then wandered all through Europe. Everywhere he found the same thing. The Romans had been chased out. Then in the year 410, the mighty city of Rome, the center of all Roman power, was conquered as well. To Patrick, it seemed like the end of the world. His past really was dead. He had nowhere to go. His God sent him no more dreams. Though it was dangerous, Patrick decided to go back to England. He lived very quietly there. All he did was pray and think. One day another voice came to him. It said, "Holy youth, we beg thee to come and walk once more among us." Patrick was certain God was calling him back to Ireland. Wild Ireland, land of magical mists and green. Patrick had almost forgotten it. Now he remembered the beautiful land and how much he'd loved the people. It all came back like a spell. Suddenly Patrick knew what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to bring all those tribes together. He was supposed to make Ireland a Christian land. Patrick was sure of it. first there was work to be done. Patrick went to France. For the next 10 years, he studied religion there. During all that time, he thought of Ireland. He never forgot the voice in his dream. In the year 432, Pope Celestine made Patrick a bishop. The Pope named him Patricius. Patricius is the Latin word for Patrick. Now at last, Bishop Patrick sailed for Ireland. But his mission was not easy. The Irish people turned him away. They tried to stone him to death. Patrick and his men fled to the sea again. Sometime later, they returned to shore. They found a barn and went to sleep there. The barn belonged to a king named Dichu. Dichu thought Patrick and his men were robbers. He wanted to kill them. But when he saw Patrick, Dichu could not move. Patrick held out his hand and smiled. Something wonderful shone in his face. Dichu put down his weapon. Even his fierce dog stopped growling. It may not have happened exactly like that, but that is how the story has always been told. Dichu became the first Christian in Ireland. His barn became the first church. Not everyone in Ireland was happy to have Patrick back. There were many people who hated Patrick's religion. They stoned Patrick. Once they even put him in chains. But Patrick always escaped. He traveled all over Ireland. The stories say he always had a drummer with him. When he came to a village, the drummer would drum and the people would come running from their houses. Then they would listen to him. Patrick talked about one God. This seems strange to the Irish people. They'd always believed in many gods. Patrick showed them a shamrock. A shamrock is like a three-leafed clover. Then Patrick explained the idea of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Today, the shamrock is Ireland's national flower. More and more people were becoming Christians. More and more Irish kings were becoming Christians too. As they came together to worship, the Irish people began to come together as a country too. Patrick built hundreds of churches in Ireland. He spent the rest of his life watching over them. When he died on March 17th, between the years 461 and 492, the church buried him at Downpatrick in Ireland. The church also made him a saint. Patrick had lived out his dream. Ireland had become one country under one God. There are many legends about St. Patrick. It is said that he got rid of all the snakes in Ireland. By beating his drums, he frightened them into the sea. It is also said that he raised his father from the dead. They say people fed Patrick poison and he did not die. They say Patrick could make the snow burn. They say the sun would not set when Patrick died. It shone in the sky for 12 days and nights. It would not make a new day without him. They say the fish rise from the sea each March 17th. They pass before Patrick's altar, then disappear. St. Patrick's Day has become a holiday in both the US and Canada. It's a day of fun and parties. But March 17th is more serious in Ireland. There is some singing and dancing, but for most Irish people, it's a holy time. People fill the churches for 3 days. The first St. Patrick's Day in North America was held in Boston in 1737. Now there are parades in many large cities. Thousands of people find some way to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Some only wear green. Some also dance and sing Irish songs. But wherever Irish people may be, they feel a little homesick on March 17th. A few tears mix with their laughter. Wild jigs change into sad songs and back again. Others feel the sadness and the joy. They want to be part of it. On St. Patrick's Day, almost everyone seems a little bit Irish. And it tells about the author and the illustrator who have also written some other wonderful stories. But that was St. Patrick's Day.